Welcome. Today's story is titled Wombs of the World. It's a very interesting and uplifting story. Enjoy. In a quiet corner of Africa, a small group of women gathered beneath the shade of an old baobab tree, their hearts heavy with longing and unfulfilled dreams. These women, each battling infertility, had one dream in common: to become mothers. Yet, the cost of IVF treatments were far beyond their reach. With tears in their eyes, they would often talk about the babies they wished to hold, the lullabies they yearned to sing, and the families they prayed to build. One day, one of them, a woman named Amina, suggested something bold. Why don't we share our stories with the world? Maybe, just maybe, people will listen. The others, hesitant at first, agreed. What did they have to lose? Together, they started a small online group called Wombs of the World, where they each shared their stories of love, loss, and hope. They spoke of the countless doctor visits, the heartbreaking moments of waiting, and the silent prayers whispered in the dead of night. These were stories that carried the weight of their deepest vulnerabilities. Yet, they shared them with open hearts, hoping that someone, somewhere, might understand. The global response. To their surprise, the world did listen. Their posts began to spread, first in their community, then throughout Africa, and soon across continents. People from all over the world, women, men, mothers, fathers, and even those who had never struggled with infertility, were moved by the honesty and strength of these women. The first donation came from a woman in London. She wrote, "I have 3 children, and I can't imagine life without them. I want to help you know that same joy." Then, a family in New York sent a message, "Your bravery has inspired us. We've been blessed with more than we need, and we want to share it with you." One by one, messages and donations began to pour in from places these women had never even heard of: Tokyo, Buenos Aires, Sydney, Lagos, and beyond. Amina, who had started the group, wept the day they reached their first fundraising goal. "The world is helping us," she whispered, her voice shaking with disbelief. She turned to the group of women around her, tears streaming down her face, and said, "We are going to be mothers." A global village. In Africa, there's a saying: if you want to go fast, go alone; if you want to go far, go together. The wombs of the world had learned this in the most beautiful way. Women from every corner of the globe, some who had faced infertility, others who hadn't, came together, not just as donors, but as sisters. They shared stories of encouragement, offered words of love, and reminded the group that they were not alone. Doctors from different countries offered their services, IVF specialists volunteered to reduce costs, and clinics around the world opened their doors to these women, recognizing that their dream was one shared by all mothers, everywhere. Strangers became friends. Communities that had never known each other suddenly felt connected by a common thread: the desire to give life and nurture love. The day of miracles. Months passed, and soon, the women began their IVF treatments. There were moments of fear, moments of doubt, but they never lost hope. They carried with them the support of the entire world, knowing that they were lifted by the prayers and kindness of people they had never met. And then, the miracles began. One by one, the women received the news they had waited so long for: they were pregnant. Amina was the first to find out. Her doctor handed her the test results, and as she looked at the word positive, she broke down in tears. She thought of all the people who had believed in her, the strangers who had become family, and how their collective love had made this possible. She fell to her knees and whispered, "Thank you," to the world, "Thank you." In the following weeks, more pregnancies were announced, and with each one, the online community of Wombs of the World erupted in celebration. People sent gifts, letters, and prayers from every corner of the globe. It was as if the world itself had taken part in the creation of these new lives. The legacy of love. When the babies were finally born, It wasn't just a victory for the women who had once gathered under the baobab tree, it was a victory for everyone who had shared in their journey. The children born to these women were not just the offspring of mothers from Africa, they were the children of a global village. Each birth represented the power of community, the strength of love, and the beauty of shared humanity. The Wombs of the World group became a beacon of hope for others, inspiring countless women around the world to share their own stories and reach out for support. What began as a small group of women in a rural village had turned into a global movement, proof that in times of need, the world truly does come together. The women, now mothers, often sit together and marvel at the journey they've taken. They speak of the generosity of the world, the kindness of strangers, and the miracle of their children, who represent the best of humanity. And so, the saying holds true: if you want to go fast, go alone; if you want to go far, go together. These women went far, farther than they could have ever imagined, because the world walked beside them. If you wish to be a part of this vision, send a message or comment. Let's build a community.